I hope you all had a wonderful and safe Diwali, and you all are aware that All India Drugs Control Officers Confederation has started its training academy in the last month, and it was inaugurated by our beloved Drugs Control General of India, Dr. VG Somani. And since then, we have been organizing series of webinars. We have started our first webinar series on the regulatory response to COVID, and followed by the insightful and engaging discussion on the recent Supreme Court judgment. And we have planned webinars on every alternate weekend, but because of this Diwali, we could not able to do our third webinar on 14th of November. And now we are again coming up with the important topic on the advanced pharmaceutical quality today. And I welcome you all for the today's topic on today's webinar. And I believe for all the regulators and the industry stakeholders, I need not to explain how important the quality of a pharmaceutical product to produce its desired therapeutic effect or to reduce undesired side effects, and to consistently maintain the quality until the end of the life cycle. As we all know, the quality doesn't happen by chance. It involves a series of efforts right from the product developmental stage and through the continuous manufacturing phase, and also at the end of the post-marketing phase. So the continuous efforts of all the stakeholders is very much needed to maintain the quality of the product until the end of the shelf life of the product. And in the today's world, where the entire world is shifting towards the digitalization, even the pharma industry is not behind in adopting the latest technologies and digital tools. So, in order to explain the key challenges what the industry is facing, especially in the digital era, and also the recent advancements happening in the pharmaceutical quality to maintain the digital tools occurring in the quality management system, we have with us Sri Narendra Kumar, Associate Director and Site Quality Head of Dr. Reddy's Laboratories with us today. We are so glad to have you with us, sir. And I will take a couple of minutes to brief about the biodata of Sri Narendra Kumar. Sri Narendra sir is a pharmacy graduate, and he holds a master's degree in quality management from BITS Pilani. And he has over 21 years of experience in pharma industry and handled the quality management of active pharmaceutical ingredients, oral solids, and injectables. And he leads the teams of quality assurance, quality control, and analytical validation. So, with over these 2 decades of experience, he has a strong exposure in handling the regulatory audits of US FDA, UK MHRA, and Anvisa Brazil, and so on and so forth. He actively involves in strengthening the QMS, analytical method lifecycle approach, and laboratory compliance and automation in the laboratory and continuous improvement. Apart from the technical expertise, he is closely associated with the National Pharmaceutical Associations, and he is an active member and a life member of Indian Pharmaceutical Association, and he is the key member in Product Robustness Group in the IPA. And he is also Regulatory Affairs Committee member of IDMA and a member of ISPA Knowledge Management Good Practice Guiding Authority team. With that brief introduction, I would like to invite Sri Narendra Kumar sir to enlighten us on the advancements happening in the pharmaceutical quality management system. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Lakshmi, for the kind introduction. And I'll share my screen. Very good afternoon for all the participants, and it's my pleasure to be here interacting with each one of you. And I also appreciate All India Drug Control Officers Confederation for inviting me to talk on my thoughts on the advanced pharmaceutical quality. I am sure, being in industry and also being a regulators, most of you have lot of experience in the industry and have fair idea about the systems. But during this next 1 hour discussion, I will try to share some of the key challenges in pharmaceutical quality and what kind of recent trend happening in the industry and how the quality management system is going to move on to give consistent quality to the patients. So that are the few topics which I'm going to cover. And at end of the session, would like to take any questions on the topic or anything related to the industry, and look forward to have very constructive and fruitful discussion for next 1 hour. The views and opinions which I'm expressing here is all my personal, not related to the organization which I'm currently associated with or any other affiliates. Based on my experience in the industry and the knowledge which I gained from public domain, I am sharing my views today to each one of you, and nothing is related to the organization. As I briefed it, we'll be discussing about challenges faced by pharmaceutical quality overall, and also we are going to discuss some of the recent trends in the pharmaceutical industry, what kind of technology the industry is adopting, and also we would like to discuss quality metrics from the measuring the quality management system of any organization, and mainly we are going to focus on advanced pharmaceutical quality, how we move forward now and where we are expected to be. Being regulators, many of you may be visiting the factories, evaluating the quality management system. So hopefully some of the views which I am expressing here will help you to refresh yourself some of the topics which you are already knowing it, and there may be a possibility some of the aspects you may be knowing it first time. So I'm hopeful that this information will help you to take it forward for understanding the quality management system in next level, as also to have better understanding on the current concepts what is happening in the pharmaceutical industry. So, a robust and well-established quality management system is always having improvement based on the various developments happening in the industry. Of course, it's focusing on patient safety and efficacy point of view. And the quality management system structure is established in many of the factories in a good manner, but that should not restrict only to the compliance of the systems and procedures. So the current situation is that we should move on to the next level by exceeding on the quality excellence, right? So the meeting the standards or specifications is not going to be a requirement so far. It's going to be excelling the quality management maturity system in the continual improvement mode. That is what the advanced pharmaceutical quality or advancing pharmaceutical quality is going to be a requirement in the coming days. But as a customer or regulators, what is expected in general from industry, we know that manufacturing reliability, the quality product, consistently giving the quality. That is important. Just it should not happen, you produce some of the batches in well-controlled atmosphere, and then some of the batches you produce in the normal conditions. So irrespective of the market which is supplied, right? So there are a lot of insights coming out from the public domain that so and so regulatory body visited some facility and some observations. So irrespective of the market which we are supplying it, finally it's consumed by the patients. So there should not be any difference to where I am supplying it. It's going out of my industry and it is consumed by the fellow citizens and patients who are in need of quality drugs. So there should not be any compromise irrespective of the market which it is supplied. And of course, the supply dependability is one of the critical requirement. In the pandemic situation, we would have been recognized importance of supply chain and uninterrupted medicines, irrespective of other industries where they had a challenges. Being pharmaceutical industry, we can able to see there is no interruption on supply of medicines, right? So that is needed because many individuals who have need a life-saving drugs on routine basis, daily basis, irrespective of the situations, the supply should continue to reach out to them. And of course, finally, the satisfied customer or patients who's consuming the product. That is very important to fulfill their need and expectations. Being pharmaceutical industry, so the expectation is that how high quality product can be consistently produced for patients and get the confidence of regulatory and industry. So that is the ultimate idea for any of the industry. I understand many of you will be inspecting the different manufacturing sites. When you go for inspecting facilities, on the current understanding, it's expected that we should know how the changes are happening. So, on just to have a fair idea, there are certain challenges for the drug pharmaceutical quality as such. You can see there are many product recalls and defects, market compliance getting keep reporting from various quarters. That is mostly probably due to the poor product design at the development stage. If it is not taken care, we continue to get the defective products coming to the market. And there are alarming shortage of critical drugs overall in industry in the world for pharmaceutical products. Mostly that is due to some of outdated equipment, some old facilities, not having effective quality management system. All the companies do have a quality management system established, but how much effective that is, how governed by the internal systems, those aspects has to be considered. Lack of that will lead into product failures and interruption in the product supply. And also, once the product is coming into the market, we see changes are happening in the process in the subsequent stages. That's purely due to inadequate understanding during the product development. When you are not understood the process in detail, you bound to have failures and issues in the commercial stage. So that understanding has to be improved upon because of some kind of competition and need of being first in the market. There may be a possibility some of the steps would have been not taken care by the people, but ultimately the product which is coming out to the market should not have any compromised situation. And also it's more relevant to you people. I understand it's not possible for regulators to keep watching what industry is doing it. Okay, the industry should have their own systems and governance mechanism, ownership, accountability. Regulators only can check and confirm with some kind of metrics. Okay, that cannot be guaranteed assurance when somebody is inspecting the facility to indicate that everything is all right, because of the reason they may not spend much time and there is no possible situation for them to spend a longer time in the industry. So they may visit for a couple of days and systems are functioning it right. So, and also it is not possible for regulators to keep visiting all the areas within the factory and reviewing it all the products. You take sample and then check it. Based on that confident, we can able to get some kind of confident how the system is functioning in the particular industry. But it's own responsibility of the manufacturer to ensure following all the standard operating procedures and system requirement and not having any compromise on the quality front. And moving forward, how industry is going worldwide, pharmaceutical industry, there are a lot of changes and challenges. Keep evolving, the new techniques and technologies coming out. We can see past 1 decade rapid development in emerging markets, India, Russia, and other markets. We can see the lot of scope is there for industry to move, and we can also see some of the drugs research aspects are getting into depth, and many suppliers are coming out in generic production, and a lot of availability for potent drugs. And of course, the most important change what is happening in industry is innovations on the process. I may not able to continue the traditional way of doing the process. Of course, there is a difference between the large scale, mid scale, and the low scale production facilities. but situation has to be changed. There are a lot of changes happened in the past, and hope the industry will pick up more technique and technologies in coming days. We should not behind how the world is moving in the innovations in pharmaceutical products. And unfortunately, the speed of change, if you see that it is not to the greater extent, people keep evolving it, but considering the patient safety is ultimate idea, the changes should happen much faster than how it is today. And of course, we know the many industries, not only the pharmaceutical industry, as moving forward a paperless environment, the way how situation works pre pandemic situation, we know that there are many aspects now post pandemic. We can see that many things which people are not thought, it's happening now. For example, work from home. Initially, very few percentage in world people are work from home, but having said that, the pandemic made that social distancing and other formalities, requirements which has to be obeyed. There is a lot of changes in multiple industries, including the pharmaceutical industry. A scope has come to people work from home because of available technology and digital way of working it. In pharmaceutical industry specifically, there are many digital tools are getting accommodated in the recent past. There are few leaders in the industry going to the greater extent and implementing a lot of digital tools, and there are few companies they are moving slow, and of course the mid scale and the low scale team has to pick up a lot. But hopefully, in my understanding, next 5 to 6 years, it's going to be a much matured situation than where we are now. And I would like to share some of the recent trends in the pharmaceutical industry. As I indicated in the past, I am sure many of you have fair idea about how industry is moving out, but however, I take this opportunity to share some of the developments in the pharmaceutical industry for better understanding. And from ICHQ10 a point of view, there are four different stages of product life cycle we can say in general. It starts from the product development and then the technology getting transferred to the manufacturing site from R&D. It may be a process or it may be an analytical technique. And once the technology is transferred, the commercial manufacturing starts and keep producing the products for a routine supply to the market. And finally, there may be a possibility we may take a call to discontinue the product. That may be due to market demand has gone down, or there may be a possibility couple of products have some stability issues or some challenges, and maybe a safety issues. That situation, you may decide to discontinue the product from the manufacturing. So these are the four different stages of product life cycle, starting from product development, technology transfer, commercial manufacturing, and then the product discontinuation. I am just specified a few updates here, not captured, inclusive of all the developments, whatever is happening it, especially in the product development. Because of the past experience, the quality by design concept has been evolved for more than 10 years now, and product understanding and process understanding aspects, enormous resource spent on quality by design, and people use risk assessment during the different stages of development and design of experiments, kind of tools used to understand that what kind of variability process parameter will have on the final product quality attributes. And when coming to the technology transfer, need not to that the technology will transfer from R&D to manufacturing. The expectation is that knowledge to transfer. The pharmaceutical scientist who's there in the R&D should think that how the product is going to behave in the commercial production, what kind of feasibility available in the manufacturing site. Okay, considering that aspect, that knowledge which is coming out from the development has to be clearly transferred. Until otherwise, the knowledge is not completely transferred. Just having a set of instruction is not going to help to have a better product. So the knowledge transfer has been improved a lot and keep evolving it now as well. And in general, technology absorbance from the site has improved a lot. There are many companies, manufacturing sites challenge the R&D, saying that why you are not giving a process like this, why the my analytical method is not behaving it consistently. I need a better product, I need a better product process. better technique, which ensure that day to day I don't have any challenges. So that those kind of changes are happening in technology transfer. On manufacturing side, more changes are happened in the past, and it's keep happening it. There are a couple of techniques I captured in my subsequent slide. Starts with material management. Many companies started to have unmanned warehouses. Right? Robots goes move inside, pull the material, and then push outside the warehouse. No need to go inside. That kind of automations are happening it. And inside the manufacturing facility, to avoid product exposure and also to avoid contamination concepts, many companies started to have a closed loop system where minimal experience, minimal exposure of the material to the operator who's involving it or the facility. So many of the things happen in the closed transfer system. And there are many new techniques are coming out. Raman technology, NIR technology across from the receipt. No need to open the container, just to apply the probe and then see that identification can be confirmed within a fraction of seconds to confirm that what is the identity of the material which we received it. Of course, subsequently we have to verify it for the purity in the subsequent stages, but identification can be done, with very short time in warehouse itself. No need to move to the laboratory. The identification test happen within the boundary of warehouse itself, and you can confirm what material you have received it. And of course, as we discussed, digital way of working it, many companies started to go on electronic batch records. Of course, there are risks and challenges are there, but how the authenticity of the data integrity compliance can be proven when you have electronic batch records, timestamp, date, the person who's involving the activity automatically get recorded, will not have any scope for somebody to manipulate or change the data which they are producing it. In the laboratory front also, there are a lot of changes are happening with new techniques, and instruments are getting procured by the factories to ensure that the shortest time how the testing can happen, and also without having any ambiguity on the data which was generated. LIMS, laboratory management system, and SAP platform, people are using it. And of course, very limited people started continuous manufacturing. Honestly, in the world there are 6 or 7 oral solid products are produced by continuous manufacturing as on today. But hopefully for next 4 or 6 years roughly, I believe many companies are already started working on the continuous manufacturing it to come out of traditional batch manufacturing system. Even sometime when you take a product discontinuation also, it cannot be just discontinued. We have to do the thorough risk assessment. And very critical aspect is what failure I faced it, why I am discontinuing the product, how that learning can helpful for future projects. Those data is getting generated and documented now to take that for improving the further process. So these are all the few recent technologies in the pharmaceutical industry. Being the regulators and industry colleagues, when you visit multiple facilities, we have to keep updating ourselves to understand that what is happening here. There are a few direct practical examples. I'm sharing it in the subsequent slides. As we know that industry is moving on 4.0 revolution. Pharma industry as well is moving on the digital way, how to automate, use the digital tools across the life cycle of the product. Many changes are happening in the industry. So to give you some of the examples here, you can see the robotic auto palletization. The person, worker not required to be near to that machine, set the program, number of shippers, automatically the robot picks the number of shippers and does the palletization, and it's go directly to the warehouse for further dispatch. So in that way, the time saving, and then no manual intervention is happening it. And also you can see there are companies using automated guided vehicle, right, to move the goods from one place to other place, especially the finished product moving from a packaging area to the finished goods stores. This automated guided vehicle will move automatically. No man will be there. and there is a sensors installed. If anybody coming closer to that automated guided vehicle, the vehicle stops itself, and it will, once the person is crossing that vehicle, and then it starts moving it. It's or by automatic manner, and then deposit the product in the finished goods warehouse. And other things, as I told in the previous slide, automatic storage and retrieval system. You see this warehouse, no man will be there inside. Only the programmer will be sitting outside the warehouse, and then give instruction to say that I need, for example, a particular API. I need, just enter the material code, item code. The robot goes inside, picks the right rack, and then bring the material out. You want some of the excipients, starch, microcrystalline cellulose, whatever you want. Just enter the item code and what you want. The robot goes and bring back the material outside. And also you can see there are few world pharmaceutical leaders are started to use Google Glass and HoloLens on the equipment settings and line clearance process, right? Manual, naked eye, there may be a possibility some of the things you may not do it in the accurate manner. But these kind of techniques are coming out. People are started to using this. And as I told, NIR techniques for granules, no blend uniformity, you want to test it. Not required to keep watching the time that you have to mix for 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Now, NIR based techniques, the moment uniformity is established by AP and excipient homogeneity mixing, the machine stops. The results are coming out in the second. You can able to take the blend for tablet press. No need to send the product to the laboratory to do the testing and confirm that what is the uniformity of the blend or assay. So these are the few technologies I'm explained here. And as I discussed in the previous slide, electronic batch records, manual intervention has to be avoided, how the information can quickly capture, how long I can keep the batch record, what information you want. If you want to do some of the analytics and dashboard, right, this electronic batch record gives you the plenty of opportunity for you. By just clicking the keys, you will get enormous data, right, how the product is behaving, it what kind of trend, the granules or liquids or injectables quality produced. So this electronic batch record, you can see there is a sensor which I presented side by. It scan the materials, there will not be any status label, only the barcode. Keep scanning that batch record, the label. It will give you the status, whether it is quarantine, approved, or rejected material. And if you want to move to the next area, just to scan that label, and then you can able to sit in the other part of the building, and then you see that what is happening in that room, what is happening in the different cubicles. No need to go physically. By the system, the control system, you can able to see that what is happening in different areas. So those kind of automations are coming out. Just I mentioned here a couple of examples here. Need not to say that many techniques are adopted by the different companies. And this is the last slide on the technology, and then I move on to the quality management system in depth. You can see how the future is going to be there in the manufacturing as well as in the laboratory. There are few companies I captured already 60 to 70 percentage of techniques they adopted in the industry. You can see digitally enabled lab, then automated lab, and then distributed quality lab, right? So the percentage of testing, right? The sample not required to be brought to the laboratory. Can I do it online, inline, outline, and ensure that the identity and quality of the product which I produced, finally the finished product will come to the laboratory and do the confirmation. So the quality should be built in the process and methods. And also there are a lot of digital tools available which will give a operator in front of him to see that how the process is behaving it, right? So by the electronic batch record, by the process parameter automation, you can able to see the trending of laboratory as well as in the shop floor, how the product is behaving it. As I indicated, there are automated electronic barcode labels are there. Samples need not to be required to be moved from one area to other area. Just scan it, you can able to confirm what is the status. and the process also, there are many techniques are happening. So going forward, many things you can able to see, cloud management, where the data is going to be stored, huge data. And since the technology is coming out, the regulators as well as changed their expectation that how much confident I will get it better, what kind of controls are there. So being in India, having our regulators also started a lot of new expectations. Nowhere we can able to differentiate from the advanced markets and saying that we are not moving forward, right? We can see during the pandemic situation how our regulators supporting for quick approvals or initiatives taken by the pharmaceutical industries. There is no difference whether we are supplying to India or we are supplying to the updated or most regulated markets. The systems are changed, and the regulators also as keep evolving it to see that no compromise on the situations, and we should have quality products. And because of this automation and the techniques what it is happening in the industries, we can get lot of benefits. As I indicated earlier, the user will get lot of benefit, business will get benefited, regulators will get more confident that when unmanned automated systems are working it, we will get more confident that things are in place. But however, there will be some of the changes, new skill has to be developed, right? The recent research which was conducted across 46 countries confirms that 0 to one third of work activities could be displayed by 2030, right? Next 10 years, because of advanced technologies, we have to keep evolving it. Otherwise, there may be a possibility it may not, we may not do that manner. For example, the gatherings, knowledge sharing, conferences, workshops, whatever has happened in the past, due to the pandemic situation, now how it's happening the way how we are doing it now, virtual way. No need to travel, no need to go anywhere out. Sitting in your office, your workplace, or your home, you can able to see the world what is happening it. That's the technology changes are happening it. Assume that we are not accommodative of those techniques, then there will be a challenge. Like I mentioned here, one third of work activity is going to be displayed in 2030, and very specifically 75 to 375 million works, that is 3 to 14 percentage of global workforce has to switch that occupational categories. You have to gain some new technique and knowledge, you have to keep update yourself, then only there is a possibility for us to survive in the industry or market. Otherwise we may not able to supply continuously because the things are getting changed. That's a change. And being in industry and also being a regulators, we should keep learning the new skills. There is no age barrier or gender barrier, there is no differences. We have to keep adopt the new technologies. That is the need of the situation. And since the automatic technologies and tools are coming out, it's expected people should aware good automated manufacturing practices. ISPE GAM5 guideline is very, very detailed. Talk about computerized systems, how it has to be validated and what kind of controls has to be confirmed. So you can see, as we discussed the product life cycle, 4 stages. Similarly, for computerized system also there are 4 different stages. It starts from the concept, for what purpose that computer system you are going to use it. Are you going to use day to day, or going to use for a trending in the monthly basis or annual basis, or you are not going to use for GXP need, it's only for administrative purpose. So that concept has to be defined, and then you move on to the projects phase, where you try to do the GXP assessment and release the system for routine usage. And once the computer system is gone to the routine usages, there may be a possibility changes, keep evolving it, and you have to do upgrade your software and systems. That's the third phase of the computer system operation. And finally, there are a lot of new techniques and versions are coming out. You may not continue to use that. Take example of the handsets mobile, what we are using it. Our expectation understanding is keep changing it, right? 2 decades back, very few people had mobile. Now you can see that the vegetable vendor is saying that you can pay the money through the Google Pay or whatever is techniques are available. That's the technology is changed. Same way the computerized system is keep changing in the product life cycle. So you have to keep seeing that what changes are happening it, and then accordingly you have to validate. Finally, the retirement. Since the new softwares are coming, new system is coming, there may be a possibility you may not use the same computer system. So you have to stop, ensure the data is transferred to the new system, do the proper assessment, not missing any critical information, and then keep upgrading it. That's the retirement phase. So this is the computerized system lifecycle management, which I'm talking about from ISPE. And also many guidelines are changing. I am not getting into detail of any specific country, but benefit of the situation I am touching upon. ICH guidelines 2005, the quality risk management concept has come. There are many companies started the risk assessment very late, and then recent past 3 years, if you see development and manufacture of drug substances, life cycle management guideline has come to see that what changes are happening in the industry. And very recently, last year, continuous manufacturing of drug substance and drug product, as I indicated earlier, very few molecules are come out in the continuous manufacturing, but going forward batch manufacturing will come out, and there will be a continuous process and analytical process development. These are all the techniques are coming to adopt the new technology to move forward. And when we talk about the technique, and then we are moving into the process and systems, right? The product which is reaching to the patient, how I get the enough confident that it is the quality product without compromising on any of the process or the principles expected by the regulatory bodies. So to confirm that industries follows the different metrics, but top three quality metrics I presented here, which is appreciated and accepted by different regulatory bodies. Lot acceptance rate, right? The products, whatever you produce, how many lots are getting rejected, how quality your process product, do you have any kind of malfunctioning of instrument or equipments which is impacting the quality of the product, how much batches are getting rejected. The second quality metrics, in the laboratory, how many times you invalidate the results out of specifications, right? Are you compromising on some of the principles you reported out of specification, and then when you invalidate it, until otherwise scientifically justified, you cannot invalidate the failed results. How you can give the confidence that your data what you presented is wrong, and then you confirm that by hypothesis and experiments saying that this is not the actual data, by I am producing it by scientific. You have to prove that. Otherwise, there will be a question that are you taking some steps in such a way that to release the batch you are releasing it. And the third very important, voice of the customer. How I will get the feedback from the market, quality complaint. How many complaints you are getting it? Is that you are getting it rarely, occasionally, or there every batch you are getting it? That will give an indication that the systems, whether they are in well established situation or you have a problem of having issue, that's why you are keep getting the complaints. So this is all the very specific quality metrics which you able to evaluate and understand that how the pharmaceutical system is established in the particular facility. By having this metrics evaluation, you will get fair idea that how the system is operating in the particular manufacturing facility. And then we move on to the detailed discussion on advanced or advancing pharmaceutical quality. Having said that, very clear that industry has to move on to the next stage. When we say it has to move on to next stage, when it will happen, how many people will move on, how effectively they will move on, that we have to wait and see. But we cannot keep continuing the way how we are doing it, both from academic front, industry, and the regulators. Since the recent development and advanced techniques are coming out, we have to keep evolve ourselves, right? How the relationship between the academic and industry can improve, right? Now currently we celebrate quality month celebration in the November, and during the celebration some of the concept when I see, only I read in the textbook. After that I didn't recognize that I'm using it in the day-to-day activity. So today when I meet some of the industry academic people, they keep wondering what is happening in the industry. And then the regulated people, they see that what is happening in the industry, what kind of new things are happening. And industry people will ask to know that what new things has to go in the academic, because decade back, or 20 years back, the way we think and we thought, we are not thinking it now. So accordingly the system has to change. Until otherwise, these three things of academic, industry, regulators, of course the government will be there to define the policies and procedures, things may not move, right? So we have to engage more. I believe the All India Drug Control Officers Confederation, the steps what you are taking is very, very appreciable effort, which makes connecting these dots, and then where more kind of knowledge sharing and interaction will happen in such a way that mutually people can get benefited, right? So it's not one way. We share something, we get gain something from you, and then we also get some benefit from the academic people. So these three dots has to be connected much stronger than where we are now. So in that aspect, how the future is going to be there, consistent quality product to the patient, there is no doubt about that. Patient centric, even though the business are there to gain on the monetary benefit, ultimately that the goal should be of patient should not get any side effects, right? So whatever the people are doing it, they should ask two questions: what I'm doing it, is it going to impact the patient safety? If answer is yes, I am not supposed to do that activity. Second, what I'm doing it, is it deviating any system procedure or regulators expectations, GMP principles? If answer is that, I am not supposed to do it. Patient impact, governance, both has to be taken care. If anything is going beyond that, I am not supposed to do, and I'm not supposed to do it. And during this process of advanced quality system, how it can happen? Only having a defined procedures and system, it is not going to happen. We should have a well matured quality management system in such a way that all the aspects are governed, and then the culture, quality culture of the organization also is very important. And then operational excellence, we cannot keep moving only with the technology knowledge, right? We have to use some new techniques, Six Sigma, statistical evaluation, and we should see that how the waste can be eliminated, how the process can be improved or optimized. So quality management maturity, quality culture, and operational excellence, these three dots has to be connected, then the process evolves further. We'll have more detail in the subsequent slides. When we talk about quality management maturity system, as I started in the front, there is no doubt all the companies have a quality management system. Everybody want to ensure that the CGMP practices are followed, no compromise. But having said that, just meeting the procedures and the system is no more going to be a requirement. We have to move beyond the expectations, right? I am not working to meet some of the specification. I am not working to meet some of the pharmacopoeial requirements. My goal is not to satisfy the regulatory bodies, right? I am producing a quality, consistent product to meet the patient safety. So I have to keep evolving that how advanced I can able to do it. So there are many measurement can be done. I just captured here how the industries can be differentiated on the quality management system. In my personal opinion, most of the industries, they may be in level 2 or level 3. Very few may be on level 1, but very, very few people on level 4 and level 5, right? So what kind of compliance risk? Not having a adequate system, process, no governance, they will be in level 1. You may have a system where there are some loopholes, and then the level 3 in well matured system in routine operations, not having any manipulations or changing the data or altering the data. The majority of the people, as I said, they may be in level 2 and level 3. But how quickly the things can move to level 4 and level 5? What is level 4 and level 5? The quality management system should be much improved execution and then performance oriented, to ensure that things has to be proactively identified rather than waiting to reactive mode something is failed. And of course the last stage where you can able to prove ultimately optimized execution, right? No manual intervention, need not to be, only automation will help you to improve the system. The bad impression people are carrying, it need not to be, even you will have manual intervention more, but having a ethics, defined a principle, not deviating it, that makes the difference. And then we have to keep evolving it. final goal is that how I am excellency in my operations. So that is going to be level 5. So this is the advancing pharmaceutical quality what we are tracking it. We have to move from, yeah, risk based situation, reactive mode, to the next level of, excelling the operations whatever I'm doing it. So this is the quality management maturity which is expected in the day coming out in the future. And when we talk about the effective management systems, very important aspect is the corrective action and preventive actions, what people are taking it based on the failures and issues, whatever you faced it, you have to keep correcting the situation, otherwise we'll end up with the more problem. So I just presented here how the learning curve will be there. When you have issues, mistakes, errors bound to happen, failures will happen. There is no chance that errors, mistakes can be eliminated totally. But having said that, once you understand the issues, how effectively you can take a corrective and preventive actions by understanding the process, adopting some kind of new systems, and having the corrective measures, governance mechanism, then you have to move to the defect free situation where you are well understood, there is no interventions, there is no alterations, and I can able to see that no failures. That's a maturity copper management we have to move on. So the first aspect of advancing pharmaceutical quality management maturity we discussed. Now we move on to the culture. Any culture in the organization or in society, it is not easy to measure or define, right? So when we meet some of the foreign delegates, they say that I really impressed the quality, the culture of India, the people mindset, the way you react to the people, how the society taking care of fellow citizens. They say that really a different culture, different cuisines, dress codes. Within the India, you have multiple states. When you move on to one state to other state, you can see the differences. The culture is changing it. Coming back to the quality culture of pharmaceutical industry, similar way, it is not easy to define, but the culture has to be evolved. How it can be evolved? How day-to-day activities are executed in the factory, right? It should not happen that I do today better and tomorrow I will do worst, and day after tomorrow very worst. I should consistently do the way how I'm doing it. Supply chain excellence, and of course, as keep repeating it, passion focused outcome. So there are few aspects has to be taken care in this quality culture. I strongly recommend being a regulators, when you keep visiting the pharmaceutical industries, evaluate some of the aspects beyond GMP requirements, right? What kind of management commitment is there? How the leaders are behaving it, mindset and attitude of the people. During the interaction, we can able to understand that how confident they understood the process, what they are thinking about the quality mindset. Everybody should feel that the safety quality aspects are prime responsibility of the individuals. And there are few things I will discuss in the subsequent slide. I mentioned here Gemba, right? So we'll discuss what is Gemba, shop floor management, how effectively you will do it, and what kind of governance mechanism you are having it, right? How top management keep reviewing it your performance in the day-to-day activities. What kind of quality indicators are available for your operators, analysts who are directly touching the product? They should know the importance of the quality metrics. Senior people may not require to ignore the fact that until otherwise the person who's touching the product is understanding the need, changes will not happen. And of course, finally, the cultural enablers, how learning and teaching and coaching is happening to the people, how people are getting rewarded and recognized. So that is a few enablers which will help you to improve the quality culture. So when you look on the advanced pharmaceutical quality system, you have to see some of the cultural aspect as well, how the management is operating, how people are having the mindset, what kind of governance mechanism is there. By that you will able to get the confidence that things are in all right situation or need a improvement. And we move on to one specific example I mentioned here in the previous slide about Gemba walk. The Gemba is also called as Genba. It's a Japanese word. The meaning is actual place, right? People has to go to the specific spot within the industry, in the manufacturing facility, and not on the day-to-day activity you do that. It is focused on some kind of value-added assessment, right? You have to keep things, routine things out of this Gemba walk. Go to the spot and see what is happening. It sitting in the conference room or offices, you cannot keep doing root cause analysis. Go to the spot, see what is happening, it how products are behaving, it how the machine is functioning, it what kind of noise is created, what kind of technique the analyst is using. So go to the spot, actual place, that is Gemba. By doing that, you will able to observe and have a better understanding rather than going by theoretical understanding that he may be doing it like this, she may be done like this. There is no assumptions. You have to see and get confident what is happening it. Based on that, you can able to take non-value added things away from the system, add value added aspects. By that way, you will keep evolving the inbuilding the quality on the process and product. And the third aspect of advanced pharmaceutical quality is operational excellence. As I indicated, need not to that we have to restrict only to the routine technical aspects, right? We have to use some lean management. We have to use some statistical tools. So by that way, problem solving, team involvement, and then the continual improvement aspects of operational excellence are has to be looked upon. So, are you using improved practices? What kind of Lean or Six Sigma tools you are using it? What kind of statistical analysis you are doing it while seeing the product behavior or process parameter, or even the physical appearance of a product or material? So, do you keep evolving, reviewing the data by adopting some of the statistical tools? And of course, you should deploy and monitor relevant key indicators to see that how the system is performing it. This operational excellence practices has to be visible. Some companies follow a color indicators. By just seeing the color, you can say that how you are performing it. If it is red or yellow, indicating that you are in situation bothering you. If it is green, you are in good situation. So the operator analyst will see that how the quality indicators in that particular area. Accordingly, they have to correct themselves and improve upon. And the benefit by adopting this advanced pharmaceutical quality, what it aims, what it is expected to be done. If you see that it's integrate, as we discussed, the quality management system, culture, and operational excellence. And also it supports the continuous improvement, keep evolving it, keep improving it, and strengthening the process. And ownership should be beyond the compliance, right? As I keep indicated, I am not restricting my activities to meet my SOPs or regulators expectation. I have to go beyond the compliance requirement by improving the process and product in such a way that I am giving the defect free product to the market. And of course, the advancing pharmaceutical quality will help industry to encourage self improvement. I am not required to pinpointed by somebody, right? How many individuals we like that somebody saying that you are doing like this, you are not supposed to do it. We will feel bad. Why you are saying me? And I do myself. So when we are not expecting somebody to say something, I have to do better. So I am not expecting that somebody will come and dictate me or encourage me to do that. I should do the self assessment within myself, saying that what, where I am moving, how I am moving it. And mainly these are all the few aspects I'm just to insisting the participant to keep thinking that you should not restrict yourself. You are getting various incoming materials from various suppliers. You have to reach out to them, tell them that why you are driving it, how you are going on the quality direction, inform them, engage them, and then ask them to improve further. Otherwise, you restrict your systems, improve your system, but incoming material and support service, you are getting it from the contract manufacturers or laboratories or the material suppliers. If they are not improving it, things will not improve. So you have to keep engaged one more level, go to them, supplier level and service provider level. Being part of that, give some kind of solutions and encourage them to improve their system as well. In such a way, you will get the benefit. And then very important is that there are a lot of groups are available in industrial bodies as well. You should have a structured benchmarking, knowledge sharing session. That is session the way how we are having it now. Keep learning between the companies, best practices, new techniques. Keep informing to the fellow people that how they are doing it and what they are doing it. If you do better, communicate quickly. If you are doing something wrong, also is equally important to tell them that I can learn from my own mistakes, or I can learn from others mistakes. By having those kind of information will help industry to strengthen themselves, right? So not required to be waiting for the situation to happen. So the structured benchmarking is very, very important in advanced pharmaceutical quality. And finally, the increasing the reliability of supply of quality products, right? By having all these things, as I indicated, I try to keep evolving it daily basis, improving my systems and controls in such a way that I am not giving any doubt on the quality of the product, and without any hesitation, the patient can consume the product which is produced by industry. And very close to the end of my session, what we discussed on the advancing pharmaceutical quality systems, which is going to come in the future. Being a regulators, industry people, academic, we have to keep some of the metrics in our mind when we are seeing it, to get the confidence of the system, right? I mentioned here a few of the benchmarking tools. You see the maintenance, equipment maintenance. How many times the machine which I operate is giving a problem? That means I am not handling it properly. That is going to create some substandard product. So equipment facility upgradation is the one part. Quality front, we discussed in the quality metrics, how many rejected batches I produced, what kind of deviations is getting repeated, how many people, full-time employment people are there in the quality. It should not happen that you will have more people in production shop floor and very limited people in the quality function. So the governance will not be managed. And then how many times you are invalidating the results which you produced, and how quickly your deviations are getting closed. Are we taking more time? Are you quickly fixing also is a problem, right? So when you say speed is important, you cannot just correct it and then escape from the situation. Understand and correct it. That is the requirement on the quality front. And delivery part of you, that what kind of service level delivery I'm having it. Customer complaint rate we discussed in the previous slides. That depends on that recalls. You can know that how system is behaving it. People front is equally very, very important. Only not having a systems and procedures, the mindset, attitude of the people, right? What is my understanding? Are I aligning with the organization requirement and regulatory bodies expectation, or I have my own understanding which I am not ensuring that the steps which I supposed to do it. During this process, you should have some of the enablers, right? Organization management should keep encouraging that, improving the situation. And also there should be some social and employee enablers, right? Based on the feedback what you receive from the society, from the community, you have to keep understanding that what we are doing it. I may produce a good quality product and then assume that I am eliminating some of the waste which is polluting the society, which also has to be equally corrected. Then only the environment will be much better than where we are now. And it depends on the site, size of the site, complexity of the product, what kind of technology you are handling it. Accordingly, your system has to improve upon. And as I indicated in the earlier steps, ICH Q10 of a pharmaceutical quality system, maturity assessment has to be well established. Starts with management, what kind of governance and expectation they are having it. Knowledge management. Today, you have a technology, Google, right? Does not mean that I go to Google and I get everything. Information is available, but knowledge only will come when we understand, adopt, and implement. Otherwise, it's going to be a theoretical information which anybody knows, right? Which is not good until otherwise I'm meaningfully, I'm not understanding and I'm not exhibiting, not implementing on day-to-day activities. That information is no use because it's only there in my mind, but I'm not exhibiting in the practical manner. So knowledge management is very, very important. I am currently involved with International Society for Pharmaceutical Engineering, ISP knowledge management guide. We are drafting a procedure for across the industrial bodies. Hopefully by April or May, the guide will be published for industry to regulators to get that. Many aspects of knowledge management we are covering in that guidance document, considering the recent development and expectation from the different stakeholders. And we discussed kappa. I'm not going to repeat. Finally, the process and product performance you have to keep continuously improve. And change management, how effectively you are doing it, change control system. And by bringing some improvement, you should not bring the issues. You may resolve some problem, but it will bring some other issues. So we have to consider that by implementing some kappa, are you giving some other issues? So holistically you have to review and implement those changes. And of course management should keep monitoring the performance, not just going by the assumption that things are okay. In general, any individual say that I'm doing good, I am perfect, I'm not having any issues. But that has to resulted from the outcomes. The product, the material, the service which I am providing it should talk. Otherwise, there may be a possibility we'll assume and impress by somebody's wordings, but in the reality they may do it differently. That is not going to be helpful. So the management review and acceptance of the defects is very important. So having said that, industry is having some challenges, and then new technologies come, and we have to move on advanced pharmaceutical quality system. Where we want to move, where we have to be in that is the desired state of pharmaceutical quality system. The efficient, agile, flexible pharmaceutical system. Right? When I say efficient, speed, accurate, and not having compromise. Flexible, I should not say that this is the way I'm doing it. I have to keep accommodative, flexible enough to understand the new requirements and keep changing it from the past experience. Finally, consistent quality products without extensive regulatory oversight. Okay, so I am not working for the regulatory body. I'm not working for management. My job is to produce the quality product. So I am not waiting somebody to watch and tell me. So that's a desired state of pharmaceutical quality system in the current situation. So from the reactive situation, you have some batch failure, you have some failures. Okay, you see that how best you investigation you have done it, whether you attempted to identify the cause. There were most of the people today industry is functioning it, but we expected to move on to the subsequent stage where before the failure happened, proactively can able to assume that what may go wrong and accordingly take the corrections. By that way you are avoiding the failure itself, right? Doing a best investigation is not enough. Avoid the failures, having the quality system in place in such a way that you are going one step ahead. And finally predictive methodology, that not only the work area I'm doing it, across the structure, across the network of the manufacturing system, I should keep evolve to see that I may think it in early stage to see that issues should be identified. I have experience with work with some of the senior leaders in the industry, what the thought process they are having it. When assume that somebody want to build a pharmaceutical facility now, what technique is available today, you should not go with that technique. You have to think that tomorrow, after a few years, what kind of techniques are going to come. If you think that, you can able adopt it. Otherwise today you go with the traditional technique, after a few years we'll be again old, because we think that the market whatever is available we miss the opportunity. So think in that direction, that we have to evolve the technology and systems, having a controlled environment and not having any kind of setbacks, in such a way that have self satisfaction. You have fulfillment of meeting the demands, at the same time not compromising on the quality and compliance. So that is the mindset and expectations from various regulatory bodies. With that I conclude my discussion and not moving. It happens many times where you have a lot of information, you keep talking it, right? So anything's limited always is good. So considering the situation, I understand many of you weekend able to spend time to understand some of the aspects which I expressed here. I appreciate each one of you for your time and effort and making a situation to learn few things. I tried to summarize a few aspects which we discussed it. pharmaceutical industry is having some challenges, and we have to move on to the solutions. There are a lot of developments happened in the industry in the recent past, but very movely the industry is moving you to adopt those kind of systems. The next step is advancing pharmaceutical quality system. So when we say advancing pharmaceutical quality system, matured quality management, quality culture of the system, operational excellence of the system. These three has to combine in such a way that rather than doing reactive mode, go to proactive and predictive methodology. So that is a advancing pharmaceutical quality system is expected. Once again, I take this opportunity to thank All India Drug Control Officers Confederation for inviting me, and would like to listen some of the questions and will clarify if anything I can able to do it. Once again, thank you very much. Dhanyavad.
Thank you so much, sir. It's a very enlightening session for all of us to understand the recent developments happening in the industry, especially on the advancement technologies and the systems and the quality culture, as you mentioned, the mindset and the attitude of the person, how much important role that it is going to be placed in the quality of the product is well understood by the members, and it is being recognized by the global players to manage the quality culture and the maturity of the quality personals involved. So with that, we'll go on to the Q&A session, sir. We have received some of the questions from the August audience. We have questions both from the industry and from the regulators and also from the academicians and wide variety of subjects, I believe. And you can feel free to answer the questions if you wish to have, or there are, I assume there are some questions which are also to the regulators. I believe our president from ADCOG or any other officials from the ADCOG will be answering those questions. I would like to take upon a few questions from the Q&A chat box what we have received. Can I read out the question for your easy convenience, sir, so that you
Yeah,
can?
yeah. Please go ahead, Lakshmi. I appreciate.
um, yeah. So we are talking more about the digitalization technologies happening in the industry. So the audience wanted to know the regulatory compliance of these new digitalization technologies happening in the industry. What kind of norms that are being in place by various agencies in the validation of these digital techniques?
Yeah. On the digital techniques, when you say the computerized systems, as I indicated, the good automation practice guideline ISPE, it is there. And from the US and Europe point of view, 21 CFR compliance, and then the European regulators also has established a computerized system. So even the our drug control authorities also has built the requirements on the digital aspects. So defined guidelines are available in such a way that having a controls on computerized systems, audit trail reviews, not having any kind of data delete options. So those kind of requirements are part of the ongoing guidelines. Very detailed requirements are there to fulfill that requirements. So well-defined procedures are in place.
Yes, sir. I mean, the audience can access these guidelines, which are very much available in the open resources, and they can make familiarize themselves on these guidelines. Sir, a quick extension of this question, I just want to understand from your perspective. So, it's an ongoing process wherein the regulators can audit or can evaluate while the auditing procedure. But if the industry is shifting from one system to another system in any of the manufacturing process, does the industry member needs to update that information to the regulatory body voluntary by themselves, or is it mandatory, or it's a voluntary kind of an information?
No, at the moment, it depends on the market where they are supplying it. There is no specific expectation from the regulatory bodies. However, it depends on the change what they are adopting it. For example, advanced regulators like US FDA, when we change the techniques and methodology, the way how we are producing it, we have to update them, indicating that what changes I'm doing it, what kind of assessment we have done it. So it depends on the technique and tool and impact on the product quality. Need not to be that every update or change will go to the regulators. It depends on the change and impact on the product quality. Based on that, the information has to move on to the regulatory bodies. So not all will go, but however, there are requirements based on the change and type. The information will move on to the regulatory bodies.
Okay, thank you, sir. Let me take up on the next question. Uh, so when the industry is going for the digitalization in the quality process, does it replaces the IPQA system, or does both IPQA and the automation happen simultaneously?
Yeah, in general, people assume that when automation comes, people involvement may not required, but the situation reality is not true, right? Even though the new technologies and advancement is coming, there may be some minimal changes in the monitoring mechanism. It also has a negative impact as well. Let us not carry away that digital automation, everything will be all right, right? When the automated system is there, people assume that things are okay system. Until otherwise it is not properly defined and validated, you will carry some of the impressions. We have seen many examples in the industry where automated systems also has got failed, and then implications are very, very high. Whereas that situation may not be there happen when the manual situation was there. So very clear that it depends on the applications, what they are doing it and how they are doing it. To answer to the direct to the questions, by adopting technology and things on, IPQA may not go out of the monitoring system. In process QA or quality control will be there, only the number may be changing it. Accordingly, they have to do some value added aspects, right? Rather than just seeing it, monitoring what others are doing it, I have to see what kind of trend is coming out of the process. Accordingly, whether I can able to give value addition to these systems. So that activity will be added. So they are going to be there in the system. They will not go out of the system.
So it's like supplementing each other activities. We can I mean like the automation to the IPK activities.
Yeah.
There is one suggestion from the professor of BITS Mishra Ranchi, is that the quality, since the quality assurance is most important aspect in the pharma industry and only few industries are following it, why the drug control or the regulatory authority, why not the drug control or regulatory authority is mandating the B Farm or the qualified personnel for the QA jobs?
I'm not sure whether the question is to me or.
It's a general kind of a question, and to answer a little extent from ADCOF perspective. So the Drugs and Cosmetics Act has mandated the pharmacy qualified graduates to work for the quality control and the manufacturing aspects. But to be more specific, the quality assurance department is not mandated to take the pharmacy graduate into the profession. There are some, I mean, like the fight, many representations are also being submitted by the ADCOC in strengthening the position of pharma graduate, especially in the pharmaceutical industry. The efforts are ongoing, and we can expect some positive results in that direction. And I'd like to request our president or honorary DG to respond on this questions.
Jayanta, can I? Professor Gupta is there, it seems.
I believe, sir.
Mr. Gupta, how are you?
Chandrasekhar sir, can you please shift Dr. Gupta as an panelist?
Dr. R.N. Gupta.
Okay, okay.
Dr. R.N. Gupta, the professor from BITS Mishra.
Yes, Bhaskar sir, please.
Professor Gupta, how are you? If he is not there, I don't think it needs any answer from my side. If he is there, certainly I'll answer him. I have a very long association with him from the past 20 years. He knows the answer also. He knows where to raise this question also. If he is there, I'll tell. I don't think others may not need this answer or an explanation.
It seems he has left the meeting.
Okay.
He's not there in the meetings.
Yeah. He is habituated to fight for the pharmacy profession. He knows where he has to fight. He has to go to AICT or the PCI or to the government or to any policy makers. If he is coming and posting this question in this platform and going away with that is not going to serve any purpose. Let Narendra carry on with the other questions.
Okay. Sir, there is a question from the industry regarding the cleaning validation for multivitamins and mineral products. Perhaps his intention is that the product is containing multiple number of products. So, what is the best methodology to adopt for going for a cleaning validation?
Very difficult to give any specific technology to handle the multiple products, but you have to do the assessment what kind of product you are doing it and how the detection mechanism can give you a confident that the cleaning validation is done. So I may not able to give any specific recommendation, but do the assessment of the product what you are handling it and give you a confidence that it's cleaned properly. So accordingly you can choose the technique whichever suitable for the your product.
All right. There is another question regarding the technology front, sir. Does the industry is going forward to use the artificial intelligence concept in the pharmaceutical industry?
See, I may not respond on behalf of industry, but having part of industry, I can say that few companies already started using artificial intelligence in pharmaceutical industry, and going forward, look like many people are going to adopt. Yes, we have started, and going to have more people going to use artificial intelligence.
So once the industry adopts these kind of technology, eventually the regulators also forced to utilize or get in place these kind of technologies in their regular activities. So it's all an interlinked and interdependent kind of
As I told, it's both the way also. Need not to be that from industry going to regulators. The regulators also has come out with a lot of new expectations. So it's beneficial for all the engaging parties.
True, sir. Sir, I would like to skip some of the questions which are very general kind of in nature, wherein the answers can get sourced from the material, I believe.
Okay.
And I mean, we have already passed it's 400, 420, and I guess
Can take one or two.
Sir, we have taken most of the important questions given in the chat box. Sir, another question is, during automation procedure, any downtime happen when it's what next? Is there any alternative procedure? All right. So if any system shutdown or any kind of thing, I mean, like any kind of situation happens during the automation procedure, what is the immediate alternative and the best alternative approach to be adopted by the industry?
Yeah. Very good question. I believe so much, Shekhar Babu. Appreciate that. See, when we go for new technique or new methodology, there is always the risk carrying out that when something goes wrong, how we can able to adopt. So, in the pharmaceutical industry, where automated systems are there, we have defined alternate mechanisms. For example, if you have electronic batch record and suddenly the server is having problem and the system is not working, you should have a manual format so you can able to use that, and then when the system is coming back you can scan and then again attach it in electronically copy. So similar way for any of other system like SAP or LIMS or any kind of techniques, whatever we use, there is a alternate mechanism also is mentioned it, which has to take care of the downtime. So because we cannot expect always things will go in right direction, there may be a possibility something will go wrong. The defined alternate procedures are in place for each of the system.
Yeah, it is the actual desired state of the quality system where we could foresee the challenges that could arise with these automations. Then only the industry could able to succeed in their approach.
Yeah.
With that, I mean, we have concluded our presentation and the Q&A session, and I would like to request the esteemed guests here if they wanted to share any of their thoughts with the audience. Jayanta sir, would you like to add any?
Narendra is a nice presentation. It's a very lucid and timely presentation about the pharmaceutical quality system. And Narendra ji also explained quality metrics, challenges of the pharmaceutical quality system, and the principle and ethics of the maintaining the quality and effective CAPA system, everything. And he says that everything is going to happen paperless within a couple of years, and regulators also to keep abreast of the knowledge, to keep them updated with this all these facilities, all these quality metrics. And he also said that Gemba work, that's a new terminology, and go to the place and examine, and the corrective measure has to be taken. And so they're going to be this kind of digitization automation has significant effect on the employee also. He expresses that 1/3 of the quality workers will be left the job and not required at all if the automation is fully happened. So quality, as we all know, quality is an ongoing process and which requires continuous upgradation, and quality requires is to be inbuilt within the pharmaceutical system and moves towards infinity. It's nothing to stop here. We moves towards infinity. So yes, and both quality of a drug product and quality of the pharmaceutical site is also equally important. But what we have to build is a quality culture within the institution. That is a very good point, and is a very learning experience for me also. Thank you very much, Dr. Nandesh.
Thank you so much, sir. Bhaskar sir, would you like to add any additional points from you, sir?
Thank you, Amma.
All right, sir. Thank you. Sir, I once again extend our sincere thanks to Narendra sir, for your proactive approach and coming forward to volunteer for the ADCO Training Academy activities. Indeed, we are so privileged to have you with us today, sir. And the information and the knowledge you have shared on this day, it has not only refreshed our thoughts, but it has given more thoughts to understand well in the new advancements happening in the industry. I'm very much sure this today's topic is a great value addition to the knowledge of all the regulators and also to the industry participants and also to the academicians and the students who have attended these programs. We once again extend our sincere thanks, and we look forward to have a longer association with you for our future ADCO Training Academy activities. Thank you.
Pleasure. Pleasure. Appreciate each one of you for your words, and really thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
I also thank all the team of ADCOC for their untiring efforts in making this program very successful. And last but not the least, the audience for patiently listening to the presentations of ADCOC Training Academy and for your continuous participation. And I could see some of the members are requesting for the recorded session. So for the interest of members, we are doing the live stream on the YouTube channel of ADCOC, and anybody can access the recorded programs of the previous versions. So with that, I thank you very much again, and have a good day, and namaskar.
Thanks a lot.